I'm the owner of Squeaky Productions, and I'm currently producing a documentary about accessible housing. So the reason I'm calling is to see if the Charles has any vacant wheelchair accessible apartments available, because I'd like to send my cameraman in to just do some filming to show what an accessible apartment looks like. Obviously, we'd follow all of the COVID-19 restrictions, and we'd sign a location agreement. Anyway, if you could please give me a call back to discuss that. Thanks, and have a great day. Living in a rural area can be very isolating. It can be difficult to go places sometimes, and most of my friends live far away. So people like me, long distance relationships are quite common. So I know what it's like to be disconnected, and that's part of the reason why I'm so passionate about advocacy and the rights of people with disabilities. My name's Alex Peeler, and I'm the owner of Squeaky Productions, a multimedia company with a focus on advocacy. I'm 28 years old and I have Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and I currently live in Cockerell Bank with my parents. I would definitely say that there is a shortage of accessible housing. People like me often struggle to find a place to live and pay for the cost of care. I certainly struggled. And as a result, most people with disabilities will either choose to live with family, which is what I did, or they'll move into long-term care. And I would definitely call that a crisis.
Hi guys, my name is Victoria Levack. I'm 29 years old. I live in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And I currently live in a long-term care facility here in this city. I am a disability rights advocate, a sex educator, and basically a lot of unpaid volunteer work in the disability rights sector.
So Vicky is a good friend of mine. I've known her for a couple of years now. I met her through an advocacy organization that we were both involved with. And Vicky is also a very passionate advocate for people with disabilities. She's even bigger into the accessible housing than I am. She has cerebral palsy and lives in a senior's home, surrounded by people a lot older than her. She's a young adult, just like me, so she doesn't have a lot of common with the other residents.
A lot of people have cognitive delays of some kind, so it's very hard to have a conversation with them the way you and I are having one right now. So I pretty much keep to myself. I mean, I'm friendly with the staff, but not so much the other residents, so that can be difficult. But also, you're like me, you're like, man, I just want to live alone. I don't want to live with people and have to be nice all the time. Because when you're around other people, you gotta be nice. And sometimes you feel a little cranky and you don't want to be nice. So I'd like to have that option to like get away from people if I need to.
Prior to the pandemic, she went out and did a lot of advocacy in the community, attending events and really getting her name out there. She does a lot of public speaking, and I think she's really inspiring in the advocacy that she does, and hopefully other people with disabilities will follow suit, because it really is important that we have first voice, and the disabled community leads that charge. I'm a filmmaker and Vicky's a really good speaker, so I think it was only a matter of time before we partnered up on a documentary, but who knew it would be during a pandemic? Ever since the pandemic, I felt even more isolated than before. I can't leave, I can't work or make films, and I really miss seeing all my friends in person. And that's really made my advocacy work a lot more challenging. Right now, our plan is to start a petition to the Mayor of Halifax and the Premier of Nova Scotia, asking them to build more accessible housing in the province, and I think that's a really good place to start. Right now, the stakes couldn't be any higher. People are literally dying because of the lack of accessible housing. I, for one, want to see this through, come hell or high water.
We are in desperate need of more housing, not for just people with disabilities, but affordable housing in general in this city is sad. The state of it is just sad. Well, I'm gonna lay some truth on it. Depending on how long you live, we're all gonna be disabled eventually. at some point you will have some sort of disability, whether it's been acquired from age or an accident or birth, or you're gonna get disabled in some way. So wouldn't you want to live in a house where you could live in it till, the end of your life and not have to go into somewhere like a long-term care facility simply because you can't walk upstairs? Because that happens. I'm not willing to give up until living here is a choice and not a mandatory thing.
What we want is we want to start our new lives and live independently from our parents, just like all other young people. We want to go to college, want to have a career, want to start a family. Having a disability doesn't change those desires and take it away. So I think that's the part that's missing, is it's not just about care, it's about companionship, but not in a child kind of way, like a babysitter child kind of way, more of like a, both equals kind of way. You're my arms and legs, and that allows me to be who I am kind of thing.